It was just a few short months ago that I got a chance to take Ash of Gods through some early paces with the developer's preview build. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with that unfinished product and noted how deep and engaging the story and the universe were. Here we are, just a few months later, and the full game is available to the world. My trip back to the world of Terminus proved to be every bit as engulfing and interesting as the preview experience was. The story continued to draw me in and suck me into the world as if I were an actual part of it. Unfortunately, the gameplay part of the equation failed to grow and evolve in that same manner. Ash of Gods is a strategic RPG that is heavy on the narrative. It's a game where you'll be making decisions that will impact the course of the tale. You could almost look at it as if it were an interactive visual novel. The world has some serious depth to it, but it's really up to you to decide just how far into it you are willing to dig. In my preview of the game, I spoke highly of the introduction of the game's interesting use of an energy life mechanic battle system, where you can choose to attack either an enemy's life points or their physical energy, which would potentially limit their abilities in battle. It worked really well and added a heavy focus on strategy in battles. Unfortunately, it never really went beyond what you were introduced to for the rest of the adventure. Sure, you got a card system added into play for special attacks, but it was never really fully explained. As a result, it all feels shallow, as if they never really got any deeper in a gameplay sense than what you experience within the first 2 or 3 hours of the game. Thankfully, the strength of the game's writing and story helped build up the resulting adventure. I can't express enough just how absolutely fantastic the writing in this game is. Although some voice acting would have gone a long way to help out. You'll be doing a ton of reading in this game, and I mean a ton. Combine that amazing story with a beautiful hand-painted visual style, and it becomes an experience that's easy to lose yourself within. Thankfully, when you begin your adventure, you can choose to experience it as a traditional game or one with a focus on story, one where the AI will take over all combat functions. So if the monotony of the battles wears on you, there's no shame in utilizing that mode in order to experience the fantastic story that can be found here. At the end of the day, I can say that I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with Ash of Gods Redemption. However, there's a ton of room for improvement to the experience. A deep and interesting story can only carry the experience so far. Thankfully, it's strong enough here to carry players through troublesome gameplay. The gameplay feels solid early in the experience, but it begins to feel more like a chore as the game wears on. This is one you will want to play and see through purely for the narrative experience, which is exceptional. Everything else is pretty much average at best. I'm giving Ash of Gods a 7 out of 10.